Okay. I was going to try to go ahead and do a video on this. Anyway, I've been itching to do this until I found more and more evidence and stuff. The gentleman, the person that you see in this picture, if you want to refer to him as such, happens to be the Keebler elf, otherwise known, and I say Keebler, KKKeebler elf, Triple K Keebler elf, Attorney General Jefferson Beauregard Sessions. And I'm going to tell you something. When we all said this was going to be a very interesting 4 years, we still hold true to that. It seems like it's been a very interesting damn near 100 days. And as what you can see, the hits just keep coming. This one hits a lot more harder than Remy Ma hitting up Nicki Minaj. It seems like that Jeffrey Beauregard Sessions happened to be in some deep junk. And guess who's the culprits again? Russia. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play the audio to the video here. As you see, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it up right now. As you can see, the Sessions scandal here, and it's basically gonna come from right here. But this is the video which I want to play, but it's not gonna come there. But I'm gonna play the audio to it, and I'm just gonna come back with my commentary.
Beverly Hallberg, president of the District Media Group, and David Burston, he's a Democratic strategist and contributor to Vanity Fair. Great to have both of you with us tonight. Well, the $64 question this evening is, did Jeff Sessions lie? Did he intentionally lie? Was he coy? Was he not coming with full disclosure? So where are we tonight? David, your thoughts. How big a problem is this for the Trump administration and the AG?
Well, look, the problem here is that every time, somebody moves, another shoe seems to drop. At this rate, they should probably cancel the new season of House of Cards, because I don't know if they can compete with all the stuff that's unfolding here in Washington, D.C. and all the lies, and we don't know what comes next. If you look at Sessions, he did the right thing, obviously, by recusing himself, but it's very clear that he did not handle himself appropriately in this matter.
But did he lie?
This is the kind of thing he should have. We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. I think if you look at the tape, if you actually look at the rules of perjury, it's hard to say that he actually lied, if he forgot, if he was being coy. He certainly could have been more forthcoming. Whether or not it's classified as a lie is, I think, a different question.
Beverly, did the Attorney General clear the air today? Is this over?
Well, I do think that recusing himself was the right thing, but I would say when you look at the transcript, he did not lie. He did answer the question of whether or not he had any activity in speaking to any Russian diplomats and Russian officials on behalf of the campaign about the election. And as far as we know, he did not. Now, he didn't do himself any favors. I think he should have said, I did speak to the Russian ambassador in my role as a senator. That would have helped him out, because I agree, all of this is adding up, and it looks bad just because of the narrative that we're seeing.
We must be the worst investigating country in the world. How long does it take to find out if there were phone calls and connections and material passed back and forth in this age of electronics? When are we going to find this out? And he is a Republican, but the House Speaker today, David, made it sound as if there's no there there, that there's no connection to the Trump administration, but this is all the Democrats are talking about.
Look, it would behoove the Trump administration at this point to call for a full and complete investigation so that they could actually allow this story to go away. It is in the Trump administration's interest to have a full independent investigation. And if they really have nothing to be afraid of, then they should let that go on, because it'll be concluded. And then they can say, look, we had an independent investigation. It came out and it showed that we're innocent. The only reason for them to deny that is if they actually have something to fear.
What about that, Beverly?
Well, I would agree. And I would say one of the reasons why we're seeing this now is President Trump did have, as many people thought, an effective State of the Union or joint session of Congress speech. I think that Democrats want to bury this. And honestly, there's a lot of hypocrisy when you take a look at Senator Claire McCaskill. She said, I would have never done this. But when you look at her past tweets, she had been speaking to Russian ambassadors as well, or Russian officials. So there's a lot of hypocrisy going on.
Well, hypocrisy going on, maybe on both sides. So the question tonight, David, is this the Democrats' Benghazi? Benghazi didn't do the Republicans any favors, although they did win a lot of elections. So where does this go for the Democrats? I don't hear them talking about health care or kitchen table issues. It's all on what Trump is doing wrong and with his administration and all the allegations.
Well, look, I mean, it's very clear that something very devastating happened here in our country. We had a foreign government get involved in a U.S. election. That much is, at this point, not under dispute. The question of how involved the Trump administration was in that and what outcome it actually has in the election, those are open questions. But the fact that we had a foreign power meddling in our election, this is one of the most serious things that has not happened in the history of the United States.
But we should point out that those are unsourced reports. We need to be fair here.
That's correct.
These are unsourced reports, and these are coming from people who will not identify themselves. And this, of course, cuts to the credibility of the reporting that's out there.
All the more reason to have a full investigation, to actually say, because the American people are sitting out there wondering what is going on. This is not the kind of America we want to live in, to hear these kind of charges running around. And so we deserve to know if they're true or not.
David Bergson, Beverly Hallberg, nice to have both of you with us tonight. Thanks so much.
Okay.
For more on the Attorney General, we are joined tonight.
Okay, that's what you just heard from the two people that was right there. So I just wanted to give y'all a little in-depth on them. But the point of the matter is that Jeff Sessions had decided, like, you know, that he was dealing with fraternizing with the Russians prior toward his Senate hearing nomination for the role of Attorney General, that he didn't disclose when he met with them back in 2016. And the individuals he might have been talking to might have been somebody of Russian intelligence. So what in the world is the top cop of the U.S. doing speaking to a diplomat? Now, I understand the fact, yeah, you know, he was a senator at the time, and that's part of a senator's job, is meeting foreign diplomats. But something's real fishy about this whole thing. Very, very, very fishy. I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm just gonna read the part where it starts off where you just heard the first part. The historical nonsense that I'm gonna start off with there, because I think that came from Lou Rockwell. Well, I'm not even gonna start there with that, because, you know, because I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go with the other video. But you know what, I'm not even gonna go with the other video, because I've been through this thing already. But the thing, like with Jefferson Sessions, though, yeah, he definitely gets out there and he makes the thing about, you know, when it comes down to White Thug Friday, you know, definitely he makes my White Thug Friday list, because, you know, he wants to go on this rampage. He's already peeling back investigations of police departments as that are being federally investigated for the mistreatment and murders and stuff of basically black people. And so he's not going to go ahead and do that, but instead he's going to go ahead and try to enforce that stop and frisk thing, which some goblin by the name of Rudy Giuliani had implemented during his days when he was mayor of New York. But this guy, I always had a bad feeling about him. And a lot of these black pastors that was down there from his home state of Alabama was up here buck dancing for him, saying why Jeff Sessions should be the Attorney General. Well, it's going to be nice to find out that your Attorney General, turns out he's going to be is a traitor. Just as some of the other things that's going on in the Arkham Asylum administration. I'm mean, like my man said, they can't even compete with House of Cards. Couldn't even compete with these guys. I mean, wow. You know, but the smartest thing he did do, that the elf did do, was recuse himself from that whole investigation and stuff. But here's my thing when it comes down to all this. You know, Tangerine them keep saying it's a witch hunt, it's a witch hunt, it's a witch hunt. But my point is like this: if you ain't afraid of, if it's so much of a witch hunt, why the heck is you afraid of the investigation? If you ain't got nothing to hide, you just go ahead and go. You know, not just him, Paul Ryan, a lot of these other people, other folks as well. But like I said, I don't know what to put the finger on to that, because Taurine Rain had did a more in-depth video on this. I'm just doing the follow-up and on basically about like how he's scaling back the federal investigation on these police departments, preferably the LAPD, the Chicago PD, New York PD, these other small town ones and stuff, that federal investigation of police officers, aka race soldiers, aka white supremacists, who have infiltrated law enforcement for the past decade and a half, for the past 20 years. Past 10 years, I'm sorry, 10. Because it happened that manifesto was written in 2007. So this is something that's real important and need to go ahead and look at. You know. But yet though because like he's gonna go on a rampage, and don't be surprised. Do not be surprised that Chicago will probably be his target. But like I said, the only thing we can do, just sit back and watch the show.